Man, what happened? Bitcoin used to be like 110,000 just like a few days ago, and now it sounds like 92,000. What does that mean? Is it all over again? Well, actually, this dip in the crypto market could potentially be a really good opportunity for us miners with some really unique upsides that we can take advantage of. So that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. All right, let's start with a quick disclaimer. Obviously, I can't tell the future, so none of this is financial advice. But with that out of the way, I want to start this video off by just showing you this video that I made pretty much exactly 3 years ago, called "Why a Crypto Price Crash is Great for Miners. Make more money by mining when the market is down." And that video basically goes through kind of the general concepts of how lower crypto prices are actually better for us miners if you know kind of what you are doing. It's definitely just as relevant now as it was then, back 3 years ago, and definitely worth a watch. So I'll leave a link for it down in the video description. But essentially what it goes through is just how, when crypto prices go down, that means crypto mining becomes less profitable, which means more people turn off, which means network hash rate goes down, which means those of us who keep mining, because we are okay with mining when profitability is close to or even at zero, we get a lot more coin, as there is way less miners online that we need to share the mining yields with. So essentially, because as miners, we can decide ourselves when we want to be selling our coins, we can use the lower coin prices to yield a lot more coins and then hold those until a potential price pump and sell at that point. However, that's just the general idea of why lower coin prices are better for us miners, under certain circumstances at least. But with this video, I want to talk about more specifically why this exact price dip that we've seen just now has some very unique upsides that we can take advantage of. And of course, also how we can take advantage of it. And to do that, we need to have a look at what is actually going on here. So let's just have a look at the total crypto market cap chart that we have here from CoinGecko. So this is the value of all cryptocurrency together as a chart over time, essentially. And as we can see here, we've been going up here during the year of 2024 with this big, pump up recently, and then this little crash down. Now, if we believe that, the crypto market is kind of this 4-year cycle that repeats every time Bitcoin has a block reward halving, we'll talk a little bit more about that, but that is a very commonly believed hypothesis of just how the crypto market works and why it is so cyclical. So let's just have a look at, what happened last time. So we had, now we have this little pump up with a little crash. And if we just scroll back here, we can see that is exactly what we also had here. A little pump up with a little crash. And what happened after that little crash? It just went crazy afterwards. And if you don't think that this is what lines up with this, then I actually have a very, very interesting chart here, which essentially takes the crypto market, or rather Bitcoin's price. But as we know, most of the crypto market kind of follows Bitcoin's price anyway. And what this does is it just looks at Bitcoin's price, before and after every time Bitcoin has a block reward halving, which happens every 4 years roughly. So as we can see here, in the 720 or so days before the Bitcoin halving, we can see prices are generally low. The market is kind of boring, nothing happens much. Then there is the Bitcoin halving, and then things kind of start moving and we have this massive bull market, right? So each of these lines is essentially one whole crypto market cycle, with the blue one being the first era, orange being the second, green being the one that we had just before this one, and then red being the one that we're currently in. So let's just have a look here, because we're right here in that era, the red one, and we've just had this little dip. And as you can see, we also had that little dip here in era 2. We also had that little dip in era 3, which was the previous one. And we even did have a dip there in the very first era of Bitcoin here. And what happened after each of those dips? Everything went up. The green one here, you can see it went up, and it had two peaks, the two peaks that we saw here, right? This peak and this peak. We can see the era before, which was the orange one. It had a little dip that lined up perfectly with the one that we're in now. And then it just went completely insane. And even this very first one, it dipped down around this time and then went completely insane. Again, it's not like I'm guaranteeing that it will happen again. And as I said, nothing in this video is financial advice. But with that said, while history might not repeat itself, it does tend to rhyme, right? But let's forget about that for a minute and let's talk about what this actually means and what the whole point is here. And that point is that this recent uptick that we've had here, you know, this big pump up here, has really shown us what actually happens to mining when we see a big price increase like this. And that is that while mining becomes a lot more profitable on paper, that also means that everyone starts turning their mining gear on again, which means the network hash rate goes up a lot and therefore coin yield goes down and down and down, meaning you get way less coin than you used to with the same hash rate. And a good example of this is, for example, Dogecoin. So if we look at Dogecoin here, right, it had this big pump in the last 3 months here, where it went from around like 10 cents to almost 50 cents at certain points, you know, a quick 5x. But what did that lead to? Well, you can kind of look at the 3-month chart here for the network hash rate. It kind of went from, you know, chilling almost under a petahash to now being upwards of like 1.8 petahash. So it almost doubled in just, you know, a few months here. Or sorry, this is, I guess, the 1-year chart, but you get the point. It, you know, it was kind of down here and then it just took off as soon as the profitability shot up, which of course means that the coin yield is now less and less and less for Dogecoin miners. And I don't want to come off like this is just for ASIC mining, because we see the exact same thing for GPU mining. Take a coin like Ergo that used to be, you know, what was it, like around 63 cents, and it's now, you know, it peaked at, you know, well over $2 here. And we've seen the exact same thing with the network hash rate here. It used to be around 8 terahash and now chilling at like well over 12 terahash. But it's not just that, you know, we're getting less and less coin because, you know, profitability goes up, so more people turn on, but also what we see is that the price of the mining hardware goes up and up and up. A good example is, again, for Dogecoin, we have the Bitmain Antminer L9, which is kind of the gold standard Dogecoin miner right now, definitely among the very best ones you can get. And if we're looking at this January batch here, it's now at almost $15,000. But just like a little over a month ago, this was like under $7,000, 6,900 or something like that. And also I want to point out here that it's not the resellers like Coin Miner Central that, you know, pull these prices up when profitability goes up. That is done by the actual manufacturer. So the pricing is all down to Bitmain. So again, if we look at this little chart here, and if we believe that, yeah, we're having this dip, but then this is what's gonna be happening in, you know, maybe just a few weeks to maybe a couple of months here, then what does that tell us? Well, kind of that not only are coin yields for our mining equipment gonna go way down, but mining hardware is also going to become a lot more expensive. But of course, mining, you know, quote unquote profitability is gonna be looking really great. But, you know, we're not here yet. And we have just had this little crash down again. And I kind of think you might be seeing where I'm going with this. But the first kind of obvious advantage of this is that this price crash hopefully can drive down the prices of some mining equipment. And we have actually seen that a little bit already, specifically for stuff like lithium miners, where they kind of used to be a little bit more expensive than they are right now. They definitely were cheaper than they are now previously. However, they also were a little bit more expensive about a couple of weeks ago, if I remember right. But other than that, this price crash also gives us just a little bit more time to mine with the equipment that we have and still yield a good amount of coin. You know, before prices go up, which means profitability goes up, which means the network hash rate goes through the roof, and then mining yield goes way down, and we start stacking way less coin for the same hash rate. But other than that, and maybe just as important, is that this little price crash here does one more thing, and that is that it buys us time. Specifically, it buys us time to get ourselves set up. Because if, you know, this is what we believe will happen in, you know, the next few weeks or months, or whenever we expect this to kind of start happening, then we want to make sure that we are set up in the way we want to be for it. I'm talking anything from you want to build some GPU mining rigs that you haven't gotten around to yet, to you want to sort out your cooling setup for your farm or whatever it might be, or I'm willing to bet that a lot of you recently have felt like, oh man, I should have got this miner before, you know, prices went crazy, you know, like we saw with the L9 just now. And well, the kind of good news there is that you might just have gotten a bit more time to get yourself sorted out. Because if you think that, you know, this is what is about to happen soon, then, you know, don't waste this potential extra time that we've just been given. Now, only you know what hardware you had been meaning to get, and if you keep a lookout, you might still be able to get it for reasonable prices still. But as for me, my personal strategy in mining is to have a diverse farm. A big part of that is having ASIC miners for multiple different algorithms. Not only does that mean less risk, as you're not putting all eggs in one basket, but you're also exposed to the profitability of multiple different coins, which could be very advantageous. And with that in mind, I'm currently really interested in the AL2 Lite or AL3 for lithium mining, where the AL2 Lite is more suitable for home mining as it's silent and works on 120 volts. But the AL3 is more powerful and because of that offers better value for money. And of course, Dogecoin miners are always on my radar as they let you merge mine multiple coins without using extra power, with more mining rewards from new coins being added regularly. The DG Home 1 is probably the best bet there for something silent, suitable for mining at home, which also runs on 120 volts. However, in terms of full-size ASICs, I'm currently looking at the DG1 Plus from 𝗤𝗡𝗡𝗥, because I think that probably offers the best balance between power efficiency and value for money currently. But where can you get these miners from? Well, why not check out this video's sponsor, Coin Mining Central, which is an online store for ASIC miners with an over 6-year track record of overwhelmingly positive customer reviews. They have all the latest and most profitable miners, from silent home miners to full-size ASICs. They can even provide immersion cooling systems and offer great bulk pricing on ASICs. Based in the UK, Coin Mining Central prioritizes great customer support, strict personal detail protection, and free worldwide shipping on all miners with no additional payment fees at checkout. You can also utilize their loyalty and referral programs to save on your next purchase. Plus, use my link down in the video description and code SEB at checkout for a roughly $130 discount on every miner in your order priced over £1,000. So if you've been wanting to get some ASIC miners, check out that link below together with the code to save on your purchase. And if you want to be prepared for a potentially upcoming massive bull run, then check out this video that goes through mining strategy and how to best take advantage of a booming crypto market. So I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.